Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Quicksilver from the Avengers. So we're going to start with the inside of the brows. So on the left side, we're going to draw a curve that goes up, and on the right we'll do the opposite, just flipped over. From here on the right side, I'm just going to curve the bottom of the eyebrow, and then curve the edge down. And we're just going to thicken this up twice as thick, going up, and then just tapering off as we get to the edge. On the left side, we're going to do the same thing. So coming up along the bottom of the eyebrow, and then just curving the end out. And then we'll make this twice as thick. So tapering it up, and then coming across. Let's draw the eyes. So on the right side here, I'm just going to draw a little angled line on the inner part of the eye, just underneath the eyebrow. And then up here, I'm going to draw a line going across. I'm going to step in just a little bit, draw a line coming down at an angle. And then for the bottom of the eye, we're just going to draw a line across. Let's go to the left side and do the same thing. This is a little bit tricky because it's a little bit small, but you can probably fit this in. So I'm doing an angled line down, going this way. Along the top, I'm just going to draw a line going across. On the end here, just an angled line coming down again, and then along the bottom, just a straight line to connect. On the top side of the eye, along the eyelid, we draw the pupil. So starting on the left side, I'm going to come around and just draw a half circle. On the right, I'll do the same thing, just making sure I try not to make them look cross-eyed. If I go in too close together, they look cross-eyed. Okay, so on the bottom, underneath these eyes, I'm just going to draw a little bit of a bag. So just two angled lines coming out. For the nose, let's go up to the right side here, just by the eyebrow. Just draw a curve going down. So his nose tip would be right about here. So I'm going to curve this to the center. And then here I'm going to do a reverse curve going outwards. From this point I'm going to leave a gap and just kind of turn the line straight up here. On this side I'm going to draw a curve going out to the right and then just turning that up on that line there. Okay, let's get down to the mouth. So down here I'm going to draw a point. This is my reference point for the middle of his mouth. I'm going to draw an angled line going out to the right, and on the left I'm going to draw an angled line going out, and then I'm just going to turn the bottoms or the sides out to the side. And on the side here, I'm just going to draw a little bracket, just a tiny little bracket on either side. And then just below the mouth, I'm going to draw a line going across. Now, from this point, what I like to do is get to the temples and build my structure of my cheekbones before I get into the rest of the head. So here on the outside, on the left side, I'm going to draw a curve going down on the temples. And then from here, I'm going to make the cheekbones kind of high, so I'm just going to curve this in and just kind of taper that line out as I come in towards the face. Right here is where his chin is. So I'm going to take this part here, just come in a little bit, and just curve towards the bottom, just under the chin. I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. So just coming in towards each other. And then right at the bottom here, I can just sort of flatten it out with a slight curve. Okay, from here, let's draw in the ears. So right at this point where I started, I'm going to angle a line out on the left and on the right. Let's curve this down. And then from here, I'm just going to do a turn right in towards those cheeks. And just to draw a little bit of detail inside the ear, I'm going to curve a line in, and I'm just going to wave this out. I'm going to step in, do a little bit of an overlap, and just draw a line curving down. On this side, I'm going to do the same thing. So going up, then down, and just curving that out. Let's do a little bit of wrinkle detail above his forehead. So right about here, where this eyebrow comes up, I'm just going to draw a line like that, and on the left, so going up like that. Let's draw the rest of the head. So right from this point, I'm going to curve a line going in on both sides. This is for the hairline. Then from this point, I'm going to curve out on both sides, and then I want to come towards the center point. So I'm going to put a point right here where the widow's peak is. Curve out and connect to those points. Okay, so now from here, I'm going to draw the two hair bangs that kind of pull out. So starting on this side, I'm going to curve up and then out to the left. From this point, I'm going to curve in and just kind of taper out a line, doing an overlap, and then one more time, doing an overlap. From here, I'm just going to curve out some lines, just to show a little bit of hair detail. From this point here, I'm just going to go straight up above this ear, and just draw a curve coming down for the side of the head. And then again here, I could just pull a few lines out, show a little bit of hair. On the right side, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to connect it here. I'm just going to leave a little bit of a gap and go up. And again, I want to make sure that I'm at the same height as on the left. Pulling that line in, doing an overlap, and pulling that line in. Then here I can just draw just a couple of hairs going out. Again, like I did here, I'm going to pull a line curving down towards that ear and draw just a few hair lines going across. Now for the top of the head, right about here is where the top of the hair would be. I'm going to imagine this curve going around and on the other side. And then from this point, I could just curve a few hair lines just like that. It can be quite random, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so we got the face, let's get into the rest of the body. So let's draw some the neck. So the body's going to be turned this way. So right about here, I'm going to curve the neck's going to curve in this way to the middle. From this point, I want to connect these 2 points here. So I'm just going to draw a curve going upwards. Right under this chin, I'm just going to draw the throat. Okay, I'm going to give him a collar. So let's get to right about here. And I'm going to draw the collar kind of large. So it's going to curve out to there. Okay, so it's curving out. And then this is going to tuck in behind the head with a curve going this way. On the right, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to go up. And then from this line, I'm going to connect it to that point there. Okay, let's get into the shoulders. So this arm is going to be in front, the chest is going to be turned slightly, and then this arm on the right is going to be back. So from here, I'm going to imagine this neck coming down, so I'm going to draw a line angled out. And I'm going to draw a big curve for the shoulder. And then from here, I'm going to draw the front part of the shoulder. So imagine a big sort of oval here for your shoulder. Right about here, I'm going to draw a curve. This is where the shoulder meets the chest. Let's draw the rest of the arm. So in the back of the arm, I'm going to draw a curve for the tricep. And from here, I'm going to curve out to the elbow. The bicep, right about here, I'm going to curve it down. So here I'm going to curve in. Then from this point, I'm just going to curve it up, just to show a little bit of that bicep muscle. And then right here, in line with this bicep, I'm just going to draw a little curve like that. Let's get into the arm. So I'm going to draw the wrist right about here. He's going to have a clenched fist. So from the elbow, I'm just going to curve to where my finger is. From here, I'm going to come up with a curve, and then I'm going to reverse curve, and then curve it back towards the wrist. From here, I'm going to draw the fist. So let's draw the back of the knuckle first. So here's the back of the palm. From here, I'm going to curve out to the thumb, curve out the top part of the thumb, and then come down. I'm going to do an overlap here and go straight down. And again, this is a very simplified fist. I'm not going to get into too much detail. Here, I'm going to curve the first knuckle, come down, and draw a curve. From here, I'll round out that knuckle and curve out. Again, rounding out the knuckle, and then right when I get to the end here, I'm just going to round that out. Let's get into some arm details. So I'm going to show that little lightning bolt that goes across the arm. So right about here, starting the outside, I'm going to curve down and coming back across. Follow that same contour going across and back a little bit, and then just finish that off by tucking that in. So there's a little arm detail. Let's get into the other side. So right about here, I'm going to draw a curve going up, and then from here I'm just going to round out the shoulder on this side. From here, I'm going to try to locate the chest. The chest level would be right about here. So here, I'm just going to follow that shoulder line, just kind of come around the chest. From this point, I'm just going to draw a curve across. So just crossing the body. Here, I'm going to start again and go across this way. So I'm leaving a gap here for the center of his chest. From this point, I'm just going to curve up and meet that shoulder line. Now from here, I can draw the front profile of his body. So from here, I can draw the rib cage with a curve like this. The hips are going to be right about here. So from here, I'm going to do another curve going down to the hips, and then simply just draw the front thigh. Okay, so that's the front edge profile of his body. Let's draw the back. So here, the rib cage, come back behind his arm. He's got some big lats. Pull that in. From here, I want to get down to the hips somehow. So from here, I'm going to curve out and the back in a little bit. Then from here, I'm just going to draw the back of his legs. So it's coming down, and this is going to go behind that hand, and it'll come down and vanish off my paper. Okay, from here, let's draw the lower torso. So here, I'm just going to draw a curve going up, and then from here, I'm going to do an overlap. I'm drawing a curve out, and from this center point, I'm just going to curve towards the left, going this way. From here, let's draw a little bit more detail and draw some wrinkles in his pants. So here, I'll draw two lines Here I'm just going to draw one, and that's pretty much all we need. And then across his chest, he's got this big lightning bolt. So I'm going to start at the center point of where the collar is. And come down an angle, and then go back up. I'm not going to worry about the chest wrinkle because then we get into a little bit of complexity with the shape of his body. So I'm going to go to the next point here, and go back up. Now from here, I'm going to start to shift direction. So you see it's curving this way. Now I'm going to have to curve this way around his body. So I'm going to curve up and back. It's going to go out towards that hip, back, and then this is just going to vanish back there. Okay, now you don't really have to follow exactly how he did it. As long as it looks like a lightning bolt across his body, it's totally fine. Here, I'm going to probably cross his chest here. So I'm going to go across this way and back out. Across this way. You can see that I'm following that same contour, the first few lines. And now from here, I'm going to have to cross in the opposite direction. Go up. And cross, out, cross. Okay, I'll do one more, and then just make that vanish behind his hips. Final part is the other arm here. So I'm going to keep this simple again. So here I'm just going to do a slight overlap and just draw a curve like that. From here I want to make my way down to the wrist, which would be right about here, with a curve. The inside part of the forearm, like this, like I did here, and curve it in and straighten out. Here, let's draw the thumb. So here I'm just going to pull a line out and curve down to the thumb knuckle, going across and then in. From here, I'm just going to draw a couple wrinkles across that way and probably downwards. And from here, I'm going to draw the first knuckle. So here I draw a curve, round up the knuckle, and go back towards the back of the knuckle. And this, I'm going to meet right to that wrist. And then the final part is I'm going to draw what I did here, the lightning bolt detail. I'm going to curve in, curve back, curve in, curve back, curve in. And I think that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Quicksilver from the Avengers. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please give us a like, share this with your friends, and get them to subscribe. Make sure you check out our Heroes and Villains playlist. We have a ton of characters in there. We're going to be adding more every Friday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.